Namaste. This is Swami Prabodhananda from International Vedanta Society. I welcome you all into this session of Bhagavad Gita, where we are going to discuss the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita is known as Jnana Yoga, that is the yoga of knowledge. So here Lord Krishna will elaborate the yoga of knowledge by which a person can can undertake this yoga to attain the highest knowledge or the supreme knowledge. In the earlier chapter, that is in the third chapter, while talking about karma yoga, Arjun had asked one question, that why do people commit sins even if they don't intend to do that? When he wanted to know by which power does a person a person commit sins even though he doesn't want to do that. So in the response, Lord Krishna says that it is because of the desires and anger. Desires means we know about our desires, and when the desires are not complete, then we become very angry. So because of our desires and because of anger, which originates from Rajo Guna, that is the quality of Rajas. So this quality of Rajas is attachment. So when we have this quality of attachment more predominant within us, then this quality, they give rise to the desire. And because the desire cannot end, it's an unending thirst. Desire doesn't have any solution. It has not got no ending. It is compared with with a fire which is unsatiable, which cannot be ended. So it's a fire which burns us. It burns us, and that is how people get burned. Our lives get burned because of desire. So he said that, see, because of this Rajoguna, people become people have this desire, and because the desire doesn't satisfy, so they become angry, and because of this they commit sins. So then he talks about that these rajogun, they are positioned in our senses, in our mind, in our intellect. So they're all there, so you cannot get rid of them. The only way by which you can get rid of them is by concentrating on the self. Because in one of the verses he said that the senses are higher than the body, then the mind is higher than the senses, and the intellect is higher than the mind, and the self is higher than the intellect. So if the rajoguna, if the quality of rajas is established in the senses, the mind, and the intellect, if we can concentrate on the self, then we can get rid of this rajas, because in the self there is no rajas, there is no attributes at all. So the only way by which we can get rid of this attribute, and as a result we can get rid of our desires and anger, is this, that if we can have our full concentration on the self. So and the last verse that Krishna said was this: Evang buddhe param buddhi sangstabyamat manat mana. this which is beyond the intellect, this self which is beyond the intellect, try to concentrate your mind into that self. Jahi Shatru Mahabaho Kam Rupam Durasadam. The only way to get rid of this, this enemy called desire, the only way to get rid of this enemy called desire is to, get rid of this mind, intellect, and senses, and remain fixed or remain concentrated in the self. So this was, what he had said in the 3rd chapter. This is the last verse. So the conclusion of the last verse is this, that you should always keep your concentration in the self. So what is the self? Self is knowledge. And how to realize the self? It is also through knowledge. So the 4th chapter is the knowledge, the yoga of knowledge, that is Jnana Yoga. So now Krishna is talking about Jnana Yoga. So while talking about Jnana Yoga, he says, that you see, this yoga, I have said it to the sun, and sun has said this to his son. Sun means our sun god. Sun, this Lord's our sun god, soul. So sun has said this to his son Manu, and Manu has said this to Ikshaku, and Ikshaku was the son of Manu. So Manu has said this to his son Ikshaku, and in this way, this knowledge was traveling through ages, as tradition. This is this tradition through which this was coming from me to son to Manu to Ikshaku, and Ikshaku from all these kings, and it was coming. But with time, this yoga has become, a little bit, not a little bit. It has become irrelevant. It has gone out of the system of human being, because it has become very old. But I am now going to talk about this yoga to you. This is what Lord Krishna says. So let's talk about it. He says, Jnana Yoga, verse number 1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So we start this Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate, Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, Atha Chaturtha Dhayah, Jnana Yoga. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanam aham avvayam vivasvan manu rikshaku vivasvan manave prahu manur ikshaku habravit. He says that this yoga, I have said this to the sun, and from sun has said this to his son Manu, and Manu has said this to his son Ikshaku. And in this way, so sa evayam maya tedya yogam prokta sanatanam bhoktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam he taduttamam. And that is why I want to say this to you, this yoga, because it has become a little bit, irrelevant now, and that is why I want to tell this yoga to you, because you are my devotee, and you are my friend, you are my dear friend, and that is why I want to tell this yoga to you. When Krishna said this, that he had said this yoga to the sun god, and sun god has said this to, idam vivasvate yogam proktavanam aham avvayam vivasvan manave prahu manur ikshaku abravit evam parampara praptam imam rajasrayo vidu sakalane mahata yogo nashta parantapa. He says that, I said this to son, and son said this to his son, that is that is Manu, and Manu said this to Ikshaku, and in this way it has been traveling through time. It has been traveling through time, and now it has become a little bit irrelevant, and that is why I want to say this yoga to you, because you are my devotee and you are my, you are my dear friend, and that is why I want to say this to you. So Arjun was very surprised to listen this, to hear this. How does Krishna say this to son? Krishna is born like maybe 20, maybe 100 years before, or maybe 80 years before, and sun is here for millions and billions of years. Sun is the cause of this earth, of this solar system. How does Krishna say this to sun? He said, Aparam Janma Bhavato Param Janma Vivaswata. You are just born now. And think about sun. When was he born? When was he created? He was created like thousands and thousands of years. Kathameti Dujaniyam Tomado Proktavaniti. How it is possible? You are just born now, maybe before 50 years, 60 years, or 80 years, or 100 years. And sun is here for like millions and millions of years. How it is possible that you have said this to sun? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now Bhagavan says, Bahuni me vetitani janmani tavacharjuna tannaham ved sarvani natam vittha parantapa. He said, Arjun, me and you, we have taken many, many incarnations. It's not that the only incarnation that we are here. We are here in many, many incarnations. You don't remember even one of them. You don't remember, but I remember everything. I remember everything, all my incarnations. And in one of our incarnations, I had said this to sun. But you don't remember, but I do. I do. Because I am the Lord. Now, when he said this, he was supposed to talk about Jnana Yoga. He was supposed to talk about the knowledge of yoga, that is the yoga of knowledge, that is how to attain the self, how to work so that you can attain the self. This is what we were expecting him to say. But suddenly, the discussion changed. The discussion changed into, the nature of Lord Krishna, the real nature of Lord Krishna. And then the theory of incarnation, the doctrine of incarnation came into play. He started to talk about the doctrine of incarnation. But when it is discussed in the chapter of Jnana Yoga, that is the yoga of knowledge, that means the doctrine of incarnation is also a subject of knowledge. What is knowledge? Knowledge is the self. What is the self? Self is infinite. Self is unmanifested. Self cannot be perceived, comprehended. Self does not have any attributes, any shape, any name. It cannot be perceived at all. But when you listen this from a person who have already realized this self, then the perception of the self, happens within you, and with that perception, you attain the self. This is called self-knowledge. But this self-knowledge can also happen, if you know, understand, recognize the incarnation of that era. You don't need to go through this, yoga of knowledge, yoga of karma, yoga of this, yoga of that. You don't need to go through. Only if you can recognize, because in every age, in every decade, one incarnation arrives. One incarnation arrives. So, if you can recognize him, if you can come in touch with him, and if you can recognize him, then you don't need to do anything. You don't need to do any austerity. You don't need to do any kind of sadhana. You don't need to go through any kind of spiritual discipline. Just by knowing him, but just by seeing him and recognizing him, you will be free. And that is why Lord Krishna has purposefully talked about his real nature to Arjuna, because he knew that when he will say this, that I have said this to sun, I have said this to moon, I have said this to him, I have said this to him, and these people were much more before than when he was born. Naturally, Arjuna will ask him, how is it possible? How is it possible that you say this to sun? How is it possible? And exactly at that time, Lord Krishna will speak about the doctrine of incarnation, which is as important as the knowledge of the yoga of knowledge, which is as important as any of the other knowledges that we are aware of. It is as important as any other events which is there in this world, or we can say that it is the most important events in this world, because only by recognizing this person, only if I can recognize this person, then only I can be free. I can be free. I can attain all the spiritual treasures. And spiritual treasure also means material treasure, material prosperity. So everything that I can aspire for can be attained only by the recognizing. When I recognize this man, recognize the incarnation of this era, and because Krishna wanted Arjuna to recognize the incarnation of that era, that is why Krishna said this. If you are a devotee, if you are a true devotee, an ardent devotee, if you are a very sincere devotee, if you are a very sincere aspirant, then the Lord will also create an atmosphere, create environment where you will know the real nature of the Lord. Here, Arjuna doesn't know that Krishna is Lord incarnate. He doesn't know. The Lord puts this up. The Lord brings it, so that Arjuna has this question: how it is possible? How it is possible that you have done this? You are just a human being. Krishna says, I am not a human being. I am not a human being. And that is what he is going to say now, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani charjuna. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna. O Arjuna, you and me have taken many, many births. We have come in many, many incarnations. Tannaham veda sarvani natam vetta parantapa. In all this, I know everything. I know each and every birth. I know each and every incarnations. You don't know anything about them. You have forgotten everything. Now he is talking about his real nature. His real nature. Ajopi san avvaya atma bhutanam ishwaropi san. He's talking about his own self. Now he's saying, okay, you want to know me? Now you know me. How I am, how am I? Just know me, just listen. Ajopi san avvaya atma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavatam mayaya. Arjun, I am Aja. I am the birthless. I am the birthless, and avvaya atma. I don't extinct. I am imperishable. I don't perish. I am there always. I am the ever existent. I am the ever existent. You cannot destroy me. Though I am birthless, and though I am imperishable. Bhutanam ishwaropi san, and I am the Lord of all this world. of this sentient and insentient world. I am the Lord of every every member of the sentient and insentient world. Ajopi san avvaya atma bhutanam ishwaryopi san prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavatma mayaya. Prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavatma mayaya. It says, I come here, I appear. I don't take birth. I appear. How do I appear? I control my nature. Prakritim swam adhishtaya. Swam, swaprakriti. Adhishtaya. I control my own nature. I control my own nature. I take my, I get established in my own nature. And sambhavatma maya. And in that way, I appear before you all through my divine, through my divine tool called Maya. You don't see me. You cannot see me because I am projecting myself. I am projecting myself through Maya, and because I am projecting myself through Maya, though I am the Lord of all beings, you see me in the human nature. You see me in a human form. I am not a human form at all. I am always divine. Ajopi, I am always, I am always buttless, and I am always imperishable. And I am the Lord of everything. When I am the Lord of everything, even though when I have appeared into this world as a human being, then also I am the Lord. And you see me as a human being. Why? Because of Maya. Because of Maya, I have controlled my nature so that you cannot see. I have controlled my nature so that you cannot see that. You can only see that which I am showing you. You cannot see that which I am really. Okay? Ajopi san avvayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swamadhisthaya. Prakritim swamadhisthaya. I control my own nature. And sambhavatma mayaya. I appear before you. I appear before this world through my divine, my divine tool called Maya. Now when I am appearing here, what do I do? What is my job after I have appeared into this world? He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. He talks about when do I come? When do I come into this world? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir. When the dharma is troubled, when righteousness is troubled, when nobility is troubled, is defeated, and evil is, evil thrives. When nobility is defeated and evil thrives everywhere, where dharma has become completely, completely destroyed, and adharma prevails, and then yada hidai dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya. When everywhere there is only adharma, only evil, only unrighteousness, when this is the condition, then tadatmanam srijamyaham. Then I make myself appear. Then I make myself appear. Okay? So, is it only when, is it only that, at one point of time in the age of Dwapar, there was a lot of unrighteousness, and then Lord Krishna has come, and He's not going to come now? No, this is for every time. This is for every day. Because every day, at some point, at somewhere, nobility is defeated, and the evils overpower. And in that point, the Lord appears. Not necessary that He is going to appear in the form of a body, of a human being. It may appear in your own heart also. He may appear in your own heart. Okay? So be the devotee of the Lord. Be with righteousness. Be with nobility. Be with truth. Be with truth. Be with dharma. Be with dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is something, or righteousness is something which is universal, which is for everybody. Whenever you are thinking about your own benefit, your own, interest, you are drifting away from dharma. You're drifting away from dharma. So, the very best way to know whether I am in dharma or not is to see whether, the works that I do, what is the intention of these works. If the intention of the work is for the development of others, then whatever work it is, it will always be dharma. And if the intention of the work is to only have, personal glorification, it's only for my own selfish ends, then whatever huge and whatever noble work it might seem to be, it is bound to get destroyed. It's bound to get destroyed. Okay? So, and who will do this destruction? It will be the Lord who will do this destruction. It will be the Lord. So, yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. When nobility is defeated and evils overpower, that is the time when I appear. I project. And what do I do after I project myself? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam, I rescue the noble. I rescue the noble. I rescue the pious. I rescue the truthful. And vinashaya cha dushkritam, and I destroy the evil. I destroy the falsehood. I destroy the sin. I destroy sin. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, and to establish dharma. And to have the reign of dharma, reign of righteousness everywhere. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I come again and again in various ages. Like he came here 6,000 years before. He's again here, and he's again here every time he comes. And when he is not in his physical body, then he appears in spiritual body within the heart of the devotee. If you are a devotee, you can experience him in your own heart, his existence, and he's doing the same thing. It's the same thing. If you are a devotee, a noble, a pious and truthful human being, even being in your heart, he will save you. He will save you. And not only save you, he will establish you in this world. And if you are not noble, he will destroy you. Okay? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Now he says, I come here. I'm the Lord. But everybody doesn't understand me. Very few people understand me, very few people. And the people who understand me, and how do they understand? They see my work, they see the way that I work, and that is how they understand me. And once they understand me in that way, then they are all liberated. They don't need to work. They don't need to work for their own liberation. They are liberated only by knowing that my actions, my actions are all divine. Only by seeing the divinity in my actions, they become divine. They become, completely free from all this, worldly bondages. Janma karma chame divyamevam yo vetti tatvata. A person who knows everything, all the truth about how I am born, or how I appear in this world, and how I appear in this world, and how I, and what are the works that I do, what are the actions that I do. If a person knows everything, janma karma chame divyamevam ya vetti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojuna. He said, "O Arjun, after a person can understand, after person can understand, can knows my divine nature and my divine, my divine actions, when he knows this, then after he leaves this body, he attains me. He attains me. He attains my divine nature, and he doesn't come back. He doesn't come back. Means he becomes free from all the good and bad things. He becomes free from all the, all the birth and death. He's free. He becomes my divine nature. He becomes my divine nature. Janma karma chame divyam evam vetti satatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sojuna. Then he says, how are this person? How are this person who actually understand me? What is the quality of this person, of these persons who understand me, who can see me and understand me? What is the quality of this person? He says, Beet raga bhaya krodha man mana mamupashrita bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhav ma gataha. He says, Beet raga bhaya krodha. A person who does not have any attachment, fear,